Christianity is the acknowledgement or celebration of the idea or concept that Jesus paid for you to go to heaven. Christianity is the worship of what Jesus did for you. Christianity is not about following Christ. Most Christians are not followers of Jesus Christ. If Christians followed Jesus, we would live in a different world. Most Christians are Christians in title only, but not in lifestyle. This is because to live a lifestyle similar to Jesus would be too hard for most to do. This would mean that you would have to speak out against injustice. This would mean you'd have to speak truth to power. This would mean you'd have to challenge authorities and powers. This would mean you'd have to be a social justice advocate. You'd have to be willing to put your life on the line for others. You'd have to be willing to associate with undesirable people, the underclass. You would have to operate outside of your comfort zone. We have become complacent Christians. The only focus is to go to heaven and to avoid hell. That's all they care about, a free pass to heaven, while they enjoy a license to sin. Run up the bill, run up the tab, it's all paid for. All expenses are paid. The bill has been covered. But if you want to contribute something, just put some money in the collection plate and relieve your guilt consciousness for the sins committed all week. Most Christians say they got saved, but in reality, they are really just trying to play it safe. And to make matters worse, they've developed a self-righteous, elitist attitude and a mentality of supremacy because they judge others for not accepting a man that they themselves struggle to follow. Christians are more afraid of Satan than God. They only run to God to protect them from the devil. They don't have the fear of the Lord. They have the fear of the devil. Christianity lacks accountability. Every misfortune that befalls the believer is because of the devil. Every bad thing that happens to the believer is the enemy working against them, never stopping to realize that perhaps it's their own karma. Christianity teaches people to mistake God's judgment for Satan's attack, not realizing that Satan's attack is the judgment of God. Christianity has become about self-righteousness and not self-improvement. There is no focus on becoming a better person. It's about a victimized psychology and a lack of accountability. It's victimhood. Everything is the devil's fault and I'm innocent. They have externalized this message. Now, I'm not saying that there are not maleficent evil forces that exist out there, but the true battle is within. Now, every Sunday, people sit in a church and look up at the image of a dead man, bruised, not realizing the symbolism of the cross is instructions for you to follow. It's symbolic instructions for you to destroy the flesh. The crucifixion of Jesus Christ represents the destruction of the carnal nature, which is our primitive nature, which is our sin nature. This is the serpent or snake that Jesus became for sin. It's the same snake that was fashioned of bronze that Moses lifted up in the wilderness. The message is to destroy your evil nature. Destroy it on the cross. The cross, which is the T, which is Father Time, which is the ending of cycles, death, the ending of the life, destruction of the evil nature. It gets deeper. When the Bible says we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with the forces of darkness, principalities, magistrates, and spiritual wickedness in high places, it was referring to the ruling powers of this world. It was referring to governments. But you would need a Geneva Bible to know this, because King James translation covered this truth. So technically, Christians should not even be voting. No Christian should be politically active for all intensive purposes, especially when the Lord's Prayer is saying, "Thy kingdom come, thy will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven." So if you are waiting for God's kingdom, which is a theocracy, then how can you participate in earthly government? This contradicts the Lord's Prayer. According to the Bible, the kingdoms of this world are controlled by Satan. So this is in direct contradiction. So all I try to do is highlight these inconsistencies and expose them and show people the reality of what they profess to believe in. I'm just showing you what it truly is, because either reading skills are lacking or comprehension skills are lacking, but it's not being taught properly. But all these discrepancies have to be cleared up. So I have to show people what it is they profess and believe in to see if they are still about that life.